Well, we start tonight with new details after the death of a man aimed at an officer-involved shooting that ended in a house fire in Anchorage. A neighbor telling us police woke her up and told her to shelter in place as she watched the flames spread.
We broke the story over the weekend. Johnson Kuhn in studio now with the latest.
John, Rebecca, Anchorage police say the suspect died after a standoff ended in gunfire and a massive house fire. Now, a neighbor who lives diagonally behind the home is describing what she saw.
At that time, the two-story part of the building was on fire, and then eventually that spread to what I call the first level of that home.
This is what Susan Sampson says she saw from her upstairs window after officers woke her up around 4:30 Saturday morning and told her to stay inside. Police say officers responded to reports of gunshots in the 12,000 block of Shore Circle, and at least one officer believed he was being shot at. During a press conference over the weekend, Anchorage Police Chief Sean Case said a single officer fired 3 to 4 rounds and later saw the subject down inside the home. Police dispatch received approximately 4 calls at 3:27 a.m., with officers arriving on scene by 3:34 a.m. Case says at least one 911 caller reported they believed their upper window had been shot during the gunfire. Police have not released the suspect's name or official cause of death. Sampson says even as police investigate what led up to the shooting, she was impressed with how officers handled the scene and communicated with neighbors during the shelter-in-place order.
I did call APD non-emergency and complimented them on the professional behavior of all their officers.
And while we wait for more information to be confirmed, police expect to release more details this week. John, Rebecca.
Johnson Kuhn, thank you very much. And with Election Day next week, Anchorage voters will need to decide 2 propositions concerning the city's fire department.
Now, Proposition 6 would spend nearly $9 million on public safety and transit upgrades like ambulances. And if voters say yes, that's what happens. Now, meanwhile, Proposition 7 is $2.5 million bond to get new fire engines.
Now, AFD Fire Chief Doug Schrage says 8 out of the 10 department's current ones are past their expected 25-year lifespan. This is because an issue with call volumes have surged up to 60% from more than a decade ago, he says. He adds that AFD has replaced about 1/5 of its fleet in the last 2 years. The department expects 5 new engines to be delivered in the next few weeks.
And the city election is next Tuesday. Here's what you need to know before that big day.
All right, for instance, the deadline to request a replacement ballot is tomorrow, 5 p.m., Tuesday, 5 p.m. You can take care of that when vote centers open tomorrow. You can also vote in person, drop off a mailed ballot, or get other voting assistance.
Now, the Anchorage vote centers will be at City Hall, the Lusac Library, and the Eagle River Town Center. The hours are also listed here. Visit the Muni Elections website for more information.
And in Capitol coverage, Anchorage Republican Senator Kathy Giessel recently sat down with political reporter Will Courtney discussing this year's legislative session. Some of the topics included her views on the caucus, also her thoughts on the LNG pipeline, how it could affect Alaskans.
It's really our fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we're getting a product for them to be able to purchase to heat their homes and turn on the lights, right, generate electricity at the lowest possible cost that we can get.
Now, if you'd like to hear the full conversation with Senator Giessel and Will, you can download the latest Alaska's Political Pipeline wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, it's Monday, and many of us have returned to the office here at Alaska's News Source. Not all of us now, including... No, this was a cute one. Mama and baby moose. We've had a few moose sightings here at the station over the last few days. It has been a treat to see them.
Look at that baby.
That's what I drove into work today on.
Is that what you got to see?
Yes, this scene. I was like, give them space. They just need to relax in the sun.
They do. That's a great, but you know, that's setting up the week right.
It does. All right. Good sign.
Bailey Braun is here now. Bailey, I think these moose are trying to, they want to see your forecast, dude. That's what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't blame them. I'd want to see the forecast if I were them as well. But, you know, they're already ahead of us, sticking outside with plenty of that sunshine. But it's always important to know what is next in our forecast. So as we look ahead The next big thing is mostly going to be more of those sunny skies pushing through for Anchorage and even for South Central. Most of the area is going to stay with those highs near 40 degrees. Even in Anchorage, we've seen some of those highs reaching a little bit closer to those 40s and even touching near 30 degrees in the interior. And for Fairbanks, still tracking one of the latest starts to spring with that 32-degree mark still not having been met yet, but that wet weather is beginning to arrive in the Aleutian. So for tomorrow across the state, fairly dry conditions with the exception of southeast Alaska. Tomorrow is still going to be a fairly wet day with some of that scattered rain and snow for Juneau, with some cloud cover moving into areas in western Alaska and even into the interior. But across the state right now, mostly sunny skies. Areas like Ketchikan looking beautiful, but still holding on to a little bit more of that rain and snow overnight. Highs have been reaching up into the 40s for this area, but as we look ahead, that low pressure in the Aleutian chain is going to be bringing more of that wet weather into areas like southwest Alaska, but you'll notice that that low pressure near southeast Alaska is beginning to shift south just a little bit more, meaning that Wednesday is going to be fairly dry and sunny, while the rest of the state holds on to more of that high pressure, bringing in much, much drier conditions and more of that sunshine. So for tomorrow, enjoy those high temperatures reaching up closer to that freezing point in Anchorage and even reaching up into the upper 20s for Fairbanks.
All right, Bailey, we'll check back in a little bit. A lot of sunshine. Love that. Thank you. Hey, today's Seward's Day, commemorating the signing of the Alaska Purchase Treaty, March 30th, 1867. Secretary of State William H. Seward arranged for the United States to purchase Alaska from Russia, $7.2 million. It's a legal holiday in Alaska, so all state offices are closed today.
In Fairbanks, a new Raising Cane's chicken finger location opens this summer. The chain is holding a hiring event today and tomorrow looking for managers. Up to 10 positions need to be filled. Now, another hiring event is taking place May for around 100 standard crew members. The new location is at the corner of College Road in Illinois Street.
All right, so you may remember us introducing you to 12-year-old Alaskan Nathan Ewell. It was earlier this month. Now, despite battling cancer, he's dedicated time, energy, making sure other children have a special Easter this year.
Danny Tompkins reports he's delivering on that plan one basket at a time.
Nathan Ewell knows these hallways. But this week, he's not here for himself.
You remember this floor?
When we first met Nathan at the beginning of March, he had a goal: help other kids feel
Calm, maybe? Or like excited, maybe?
Now, he makes sure other kids had a chance to feel that. More than 100 Easter baskets delivered. Nurse manager Nikki Thurwanger says they overflowed the carts at Providence Children's Hospital.
4 carts down, and we were like, this is perfect. And the baskets were so big, and we got to just keep seeing more and more come.
The amount of support shocked Nathan's mom, Dina.
This is all from donations.
More than $2,000 in the first 24 hours. What you're watching required more than donations to pull off.
It's emotional. When I was first told that he had cancer, it was devastating.
Stage 4, Hodgkin's lymphoma. But Nathan had other plans.
Because I like getting gifts in the hospital, so
He hopes kids feel
the same way.
Thurwanger believes they will.
These are my favorite ones, though.
When the kiddos are here, every day becomes challenging and hard, and you look for the little things. So I think that's what things like this give back.
Nathan's gift doesn't just reach children like him. It hits closest to home.
He's amazing. I wish I had half the strength he does. He's constantly, Mom, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay.
I think for a kid who is going through something really challenging themselves medically and his family to then think, how can I give to the next kid who's going to be going through something hard is just shows that he's brave and compassionate and is truly inspiring.
2 more treatments stand between Nathan and an all clear. But this week, he wasn't counting down.
This out, too.
He was giving back. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
That's so sweet. I love that.
That is incredible. What a tough little man.
Definitely. Nathan also dropped off baskets at the Alaska Native Medical Center. That's a total of 124 baskets.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.